It's so lovely to meet you, Sue, and I adore your book, Chill With
Oh,
Lil.
thank you very much. Thank you.
It is extraordinary. What inspired you to create Chill With Lil?
Well, what it was I'd been meditating for about 10 years and I'd seen the benefits that it had, not just the improvement in myself, but for other people as well. And I really wanted to kind of spread this message about meditation being such a great technique and tool to make people's lives less stressful. And I thought to myself, well, I think the best age to reach people is when, of course, when you're a child, and then you can take that into adulthood with you. You can take all those techniques with you so that you can grow into a happier adult. And especially with the growing kind of rate of mental health problems with teenagers these days, I think it's so important. And then I thought to myself, well, what's the best way of actually sending this message out? And I thought, well, it was via children's picture books because I'd already written and illustrated a few anyway. So I just thought that was like the perfect medium to do this with. And also, parallel to that, I had a lot of friends and family that I'd seen struggling with their kids' behaviour. And I thought, well, this would be really useful for them as well. And I did notice that it was quite common for those hours just sort of pre-bedtime, those hours leading up to bedtime were the worst time for a kid to be playing up. So this story is kind of like focused around those hours before bedtime. Yeah, so that was kind of like my first thoughts about coming up with this idea.
It's just so inspired. There are so many beautiful children's picture books out there with lovely, lovely stories. But the fact that you have an opportunity to, you're giving parents an opportunity to put these amazing building blocks in place that could, as you say, help children grow up into adults who understand that there's a place they can go in themselves
Yes.
to find peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
now more than ever in this day and age, they
Yes.
so need that help.
Absolutely. And it's there on their doorstep for anybody to take, and anyone can learn it. And it doesn't matter what age or background you're from, anybody can do it. And it's not a religious thing either. It's a universal thing. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely free and easy to do.
And how did you come up with the characters, or did the story, you thought of the idea and then Lil and Jake popped up, or in what order did it all happen creatively?
The story I had no characters in mind to start with. It was entirely just the story at first, because what it was I wanted to actually come up with a book that could integrate a guided meditation in it. So then the story kind of came after that. So central to the book is the guided meditation, and then I came up with the story around it. So then I was thinking about maybe the main character could be a naughty child, and then maybe there's a parent or guardian trying to get the naughty child to bed, but then just completely running out of ideas as to how that could be done. So then I was thinking about, I thought it'd be fun to actually make the characters into animals, and then I thought, well, cats might be a really good idea because they can be zen-like, like Lil, Jake's auntie, who comes to teach Jake how to be mindful. But they can also sometimes be a little bit naughty, like Jake. So I thought that, that was a perfect kind of a creature to portray those characters.
Yeah. Oh, they're I mean, just so beautifully illustrated, and just the words and the pictures. Just I was blown away by it, and I've written books and I've worked in publishing for a long time, and it's so refreshing to see something you think really hits the spot. So what kind of responses have you had since the book was published last year?
Well, I've actually had quite a few responses from mums that have told me how much of a difference it's made to their lives.
Fantastic.
Which is great to hear.
Yeah.
So I'll give you some examples. So there was one mum who, her son, as young as 2, was asking for the story to be read to him every night because he was obviously feeling the effects of the calmness and he was enjoying it. And he was even kind of preempting when the breathing exercise were coming by putting his milk bottle down in preparation
Getting
for
ready.
the breathing. Yeah. So that was quite interesting. And I thought for a 2-year-old, that's amazing actually. And then there was another lady who was telling me about her 3-year-old son who was actually starting to tell her to chill out when she was getting stressed. So that was actually, that's a revelation as well, that, that children that young can get the whole kind of idea of chilling out. And there was another lady who was telling me about her daughter who was, I think she was 5 or 6, who'd went to a birthday party and it was quite a few hours of activity, and she came back home and she was very tired and frazzled, and she intuitively knew that she wanted to go to a place of some peace and calm, so she actually asked her mum to read her Chill With Lil so she could just lie down and chill out for a bit, you know, after the party. So yeah, there's that. The response overall has been very positive, actually.
That's amazing.
But what I will say is that parents do actually have to put a bit of the time in and effort in to take the kids through this guided meditation, because it really does pay off.
It's 11 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 11 minutes.
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of people, and myself included when I first started meditating, which I'll tell you about later, but with meditation you need to put the effort in for the real results to show. It's not instant gratification, but a lot of people want that these days. But you do have to put a little bit of work in for it to pay off, definitely.
Well, I think reading the book, I just remember over the years reading to my children every night. And there are a lot of books, or a lot longer than this, that may have really, really entertained them. But the fact that this, we all know about the importance of sharing picture books with young children and reading. It's such a lovely thing to do, but it's so important for them in, as we know, so many ways. But the fact that there is this extra gift that is life-changing is, why would you not want to give it a go? You know, I think I think it's something that I would recommend, and as the mother of 4 boys, I wish I'd had it. You know, it's just fabulous. So have you done many practical relaxation sessions with children with the book? Have you been to schools and things?
I have, actually. So I've read it to groups of children in various libraries, and I've taken year 1 and 2s at school. So, you know, some quite big groups of children, and you are going to get the odd one or two that are going to fidget. But once you actually get them all lying down, that's kind of like the first magical step, because as soon as a child is lying down, that's an instant stilling effect that it has on them. Not just with children, but with anybody, you know. Because in the libraries, you've got the parents or guardians taking the kids to the libraries, and the adults join in as well, and you can see them all enjoying this piece together.
So the parents or the grown-ups are lying down as well?
Yeah, all sharing the same experience, all enjoying it. And I think the way that you tell the story, the words are spoken very softly and very quietly and very slowly, and that also has a very calming effect. So as soon as a child's lying down, as soon as you start the story, that's the first hurdle to calming them. And then once that energy has kind of calmed, it kind of filters out and everybody else feels it. And when there's kind of like such a huge amount of people in one room with that same energy, it kind of changes the whole...
It's like a whole meditation going on.
It is.
That's really powerful.
It changes the whole level of the room's energy, and everyone's feeling the same sort of stillness and calm. And I've read it to a few children in an individual kind of basis as well. And one of the ones that I do remember very clearly, because it was such a miraculous kind of like moment, when I went to a friend's house, and her 7-year-old son was being very, very naughty, and it was well past his bedtime. It was about 2 hours past his bedtime. He would not listen to his mum, and he was actually being quite aggressive. So I suggested that maybe I should read him my book, because I knew they had a copy. So I thought, well, I need to maybe step in and help here. So I got him into the living room, and I got him to lie down, and I put the blanket over him, and of course that's the first step, getting him to lie down.
You were Lil.
Yeah. And then as soon as I started with the meditation, he was totally immersed in all of that. And as soon as I finished reading, he got up, came over, gave me a hug, and said, "Thank you for reading me this wonderful story," which I thought was absolutely amazing, considering the state that he was in previously.
15 minutes before he was bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, it was almost an immediate kind of transformation. And that's what meditation can do.
Yeah.
It is magical.
It's life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah.
So Sue, can you just tell us what's going on, for instance, in this double-page spread?
Yeah, so this is actually showing Jake tidying up all of his toys in preparation for his guided meditation. And this is Lil. She's ready to actually... This is actually where the children at home can join in as well. So this is Jake lying down, ready to go through his meditation with Lil guiding. I actually chose a guided body meditation because I thought for children it would be the easiest and most fun for them to follow.
They're just so great pictures, and there's so much also, like with every picture book, lots to look at on the page, and just great illustrations. I know I keep saying that, but I love your style.
Thank
I love
you.
your style. But how long have you been practicing meditation?
Well, I have been doing it for about 10 years.
Okay.
So previous to that, I'd actually been doing a lot of reading of self-help and self-development. And in all of those books, they mentioned meditation, but
Yeah.
I had such a resistance to it at first. I was thinking, oh, that's not going to work, or it's...
Why?
it's
Felt
just
like it felt too much like hard work, or
it felt too much like
unattainable?
hard work. Yeah, and also because it's not tangible. You just don't know if you're going to be seeing results and or when.
Yeah.
So I put off doing it for a long, long time, and then eventually I was walking past, there was a Buddhist centre near where I live, and they were advertising meditation lessons, sessions every week. So I started going, and I kind of persevered, and after about 3 months, I got to that sort of magic turning point where I realised that this really, really did work.
Yeah. Did you sort of do the, I wish I'd done this years before?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did actually. And so when that kind of kicked in and it was working for me, I was doing a lot. I was meditating every day because I felt like I really needed it. And I was doing probably about 20 minutes every day for a year at one stage. And then gradually over the years, I found that I needed it less and less because I was so used to being able to kind of switch my thoughts during my waking hours, so waking meditation, or in other words, being mindful, that I only now do it when I'm in a really desperate state.
Yes.
You know, if I'm feeling particularly angry or stressed about something for too long and I can't shake it off, I'll sit down in a quiet room somewhere for about half an hour, and it's absolutely guaranteed that feeling will pass as soon as I've done the meditation.
Yeah.
So
The world would be a very different place if everyone did that.
Absolutely. I just wish everybody knew that how much it could benefit them. Definitely.
So talk me through that for those that don't meditate or try to live their life mindfully. What are the benefits?
There's so many to go through. I mean, for a start, I think if you're a naturally kind of stressed or anxious person, it will help you. So for instance, we all have 60,000 thoughts a day. 90% of them have absolutely no value whatsoever. They're repetitive, or they just don't serve you in any way.
Negative thoughts.
Absolutely negative. And meditation is a way to kind of slow those thoughts down, and eventually what happens is you're the one that controls your thoughts, and it's not your thoughts that control you, and that's where you want to get to. So you'll feel a lot calmer, and the knock-on effect of that is that you're more at peace and you're happier, and you're more focused, there's more clarity in your life. And when you have all of those things, you're more able to kind of carry on your everyday business just in a more simple manner, without any of the worries or anxieties that were attached to them before. And in a way, it's really strange because all the problems that you thought you had before seem so insignificant after you've meditated. And that's kind of like the main benefits, I'd say, of meditation.
So Sue, can you just explain the difference between mindfulness and meditation?
Yeah, I will actually, because I think a lot of people kind of get confused with the two. There's only a very subtle difference. So, for instance, with this book, it's a teaching kids mindfulness, but it's got a guided meditation in it. So I would say that with meditation, you're deliberately taking yourself off into a quiet space, and you're going inside of yourself, and you're spending that moment in peace. And then with mindfulness, it falls off the back of meditation, so it's kind of as a natural consequence. So you're actually going about your everyday business, being consciously aware of what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're doing at any one moment. So it's kind of like a continuation of that meditation, but you're doing a waking meditation, if you see what I mean. Yeah.
So really, you can't be mindful unless you have done meditation and have found the ability to
I wouldn't necessarily mindful. Say that. I don't think you have to meditate to be mindful. You can do mindfulness without the meditation, but I think that it's a really good addition to being mindful. If you can add some meditation, because that's time for yourself then, and you're getting away from all the external stuff and you're spending time with yourself. And I think that's really important for everybody to do, so that they absolutely know themselves deeply.
And do you have more adventures that you think you are going to do with Jake or Lil?
Yeah, I mean, I think Lil is a really good role model for kids, and I can see her doing, maybe teaching yoga even, or going into, even venturing into, you know, nutrition and health, or teaching other aspects of well-being and self-improvement, like how to deal with the anger or with negative people or bullies. It could go quite a few ways actually. And a series would be, I could see her fitting into a series quite easily actually.
That would be amazing.
Who knows what's in store for Lil.
Have you actually got anything on the, because I know this Chill With Lil comes out in paperback in, is it July this year?
Yes, so I think it might actually already be out.
Literally fresh off hot off the press.
Yeah. So the hardback was out last year, April.
Yeah.
And I think the paperback is out now actually. So, yeah,
it should be in $7.99.
Yeah.
It should be in every library. We need more libraries.
Yeah, and hopefully this generation of kids will grow up into the more calm and peaceful adults of the next generation.
Yeah. Change the world. One Chill With Lil book at a time.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, it's just been wonderful to meet you. And,
thank you.
And I just so look forward to seeing further ideas, books. You know, it's amazing. You're inspirational, and I've loved chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.